Do you do this too when you receive a news that somebody you know has passed away? You send your condolences to the family members by text message. You also send some comforting words, some consoling words to the family members, especially if you know that they'll be too sad. You contribute some money or donate some money to assist with the expenses. Then you visit them if you are able to, and check out how all the family members of the deceased, and you attend the funeral. Now, there's nothing wrong with all of this, but this got me thinking, is that all a person can do for the family of the deceased? Is there nothing more that I can do other than just offering some words, of course, well-intentioned and sincere words, and my presence and some money? Is there nothing more that I can do to assist the family, especially during this difficult period? And so in this video, this is what I would like to talk about. What are some of the things that we can do for somebody we know who has had a death in their family? Hi everyone, welcome back to our channel. And so in this video, I would like to share some of my thoughts, my reflections, suggestions, and also experiences on this topic. What can I do? What can we do if we know a friend, a relative, or a neighbor, somebody we know who has had death in their family? What can we do to assist them during this difficult time for them? So before I begin, I think it's also good to note that there are a lot of differences. There can be a lot of differences in cultural background, values, the way we view and cope with death. So in this video, you can also see what is relevant to you and what is applicable to you, and you can take and use that. So the first one is obituary stuff. Yeah, I know it may sound quite straightforward and don't seem like a big thing to do, or doesn't sound very difficult, but it is something that can take some time and will require some work as well, especially if the family of the deceased is very big. And so this is one part that people can help out with, to find out all the names of the family members, making sure the spelling is accurate. For a Chinese family, if they are going to post on the Chinese newspaper, then you need to get the Chinese names as well. And the obituary stuff, usually the template, we don't have to worry too much. You can get it from the newspaper contact person. They usually have certain templates, so you can contact them and they will send you the templates, and can just getting the names and the sequence and the order as well. So where are the daughters, the sons, the children, the grandchildren, and the spouse as well. So this kind of thing can take some time, and because depending on what is your practices, like some from the time of death to the funeral, sometimes they don't have much time and there's a lot of tasks to tend to, and so certain simple tasks can be a bit might feel you need to rush into it as well. So if there's people helping out with it, it can be easing some of the burden of the family of the deceased. So one more, maybe a note as well, if you're helping out with this to sort out the obituary, it's good to keep the family updated as well on your progress. So whatever we're not sure, you can always cross-check and cross-reference with the family. The other thing that people can help out is related to things of the online live telecast. Since 2019, when the global health crisis hit, there's been difficulties to travel and to be present physically when there are relatives or friends that have passed away. And so online live telecast is one platform where people are able to also attend funeral or prayer service for the deceased. And so helping out with online live telecast stuff is also one thing that you can look into, because it also involves things like setting up the platform, getting the links, sending out the links, and then when people are in the platform, there can be errors or some people have some problems, and so to be there in the platform to help people troubleshoot is also one thing that we can help out with. And also the camera itself, some funeral for example that I was helping out with, we had to have a cameraman that move along with the group so that those who are not able to attend, they are able to see what is happening and when the remains are being put laid to rest. So this also you may require a cameraman as well. So just some note, if you are helping out with this and you're using a phone, make sure that your phone has always enough power. It's good to have a power bank, and good to make sure that you have enough data for the live streaming online. To also to have some audio for the live telecast as well. I did once live telecast but with no audio, and I received some feedback that it's a bit well, it could be better for the viewers if they can have some audio. It don't have to be crystal clear, but to have some audio so that they can know what is happening by audio as well, and not just visual only. So the other thing that we can help out with is related to sending out information. So one of the earlier things, and also I think throughout the time until the remains of the person have been laid to rest, there are points where you need to send out information and to keep people updated. So this is also one thing that can be a hassle, but yeah, so if there are people helping out, it is one form of assistance. So like to send out information of what happened to the person, and how is the family members doing, where will the remains be, if people want to visit, what time would be a good time, and what time is the funeral, the venue, will the remains be laid in a parlor, and what are the information related to giving donations or contributions, or Chinese would say call this 拜金. So all these things are also something that people can help out with. So I know some family, they will have a designated informant. So all things related to sending out information or answering some questions that people may have, they can all refer to this informant. They can just send text messages. So one more thing that people can help out with is related to looking after kids, especially the younger, smaller children. When there's a death in the family, and the immediate, what do you call that? For example, if a grandfather passed away and the grandfather's children are already adults, and so if these children, they have smaller children or the grandchildren of the deceased, sometimes they don't really know what is happening, and sometimes their parents will need some time to also mourn the loss of their father or mother, and sometimes it may be a bit difficult for them to handle their emotions and at the same time care for their children. And so sometimes, yeah, this is one thing that we can help out with, to tend to the younger children when their parents are the ones that have to tend to the things of, or to handle things, yeah, whether it is their father or mother that passed away or their grandparents. And so sometimes the younger children's parents have to handle and run documents and all that, so like the younger children can be neglected, or it'll be easier for their parents if there are people looking after the children. Yeah. And also so that sometimes the parents can have some time and space for themselves to, you know, be there to feel their emotions during this difficult time. And sometimes it may be difficult to do that when, you know, some small children are running around making some noise and like bugging their parents. So not all children are like that, but you know, if there's assistance, it can help. So the other point that we can help out with is in relation to transportation. So again, when a person passed away and before they are laid to rest, there are a lot of documents, things that need to be done before that. And offering to be a driver for them can be of assistance as well, so that if they need to go to any department or any shops or any places, and especially if those places are far or always get jammed or very difficult to find parking, because driving also could involve going to the parlor and back home. And if they are, this is before 2019, when they are like friends and relatives overseas visiting, then they might need help on ferrying from the airport to the hotel to the house and to the shops, or you know, all these different places. And so offering to drive is also one way that we can be of help. And we already know on normal days sometimes driving can be very tiring mentally and physically also. And so what more during this difficult time. I know when my father passed away, many friends offered to be drivers, and that was a big help because we could, my family members could go and do different things at the same time, and so we don't have to rely on one driver. We could go and settle a few things at the same time. So sometimes it's quite difficult to know what is it that we can be of help to the family of the deceased. As I mentioned earlier, there are different cultures, different values, and different practices also. And so there can be different situations as well. And every family is also different. And so sometimes the form of assistance and the type of help that they may need can differ from the different family. And so I feel sometimes what we can do is to just offer ourselves to help and to ask, is there anything that I can be of assistance to? And you know, let the family see, based on what is happening, is there anything that you can help out with? It's also maybe good to know that there are certain culture where there is this reluctance, or in Malay they call it segan, this segan culture, or this reluctance to accept help even though sometimes they may need it. You can find different ways of offering to help, or sometimes offering to help at the right time and at the right place. For example, sometimes you can offer to help by text message. Some people may not be very comfortable with accepting help face to face, so you can just send a text message letting them know that if they need help, they can reach out to you. Or sometimes you can offer to help more than once. it may be first time people are still a bit reluctant, but maybe if you offer the second time at a different time, they may be more open to accepting your help. There's this story that I like, that I learned a lot from as well. When I was working with one of the communities that is a rural setting in Sabah, and during my stay in that village, there was coincidentally a death in the village. And so the family members of the household that I was living with, they were all going to the house where the death occurred, and they asked whether I would like to go along with them, and so I went with them. And I was surprised because I grew up in an urban area, and so when we reached the house where somebody passed away, there were already many people in that house, and everyone was very busy with something. So there will be some helping out with cutting the chicken or cutting the beef, and then in another part of the house there will be people helping out with peeling onions and chilies and garlic and the different ingredients that the chef requires. There'll be people helping out to prepare them, and there will be men, women, youth, children, everyone there from the village helping out. And there will also be people setting up the tent, arranging the chairs, setting up the audio systems, cleaning the house, etc. And relating to this point, why I brought up this story is because when a villager arrived in the house, they would ask the people of the household, "Ada apa boleh tolong?" In English, it means, "Is there anything that I can help with?" Usually the family members will then direct them to the different things that are going on and what they can help out with. And so yeah, I thought that is something that we can also do if we would like to assist or help out the family of the deceased. The other point that I think may be useful is related to reading the circumstances. If you know the family and you know the situation, what may be things that require attention or things that needs to be done, then sometimes you can find what are the things that you can help out with, and then with that knowledge you can offer to help out with specific things as well. So if you can read the circumstances, then I think that is also one way, there's one thing you can do to identify what you can help out with. The other thing that I think people can help out with is related to food. So sometimes when there is a death in the family, people will be running up and down. They have to sort out this and arrange this and coordinate that, and they may forgot that they have to eat as well, or that the family has to eat. And so helping out with the food is also one thing that people can help out with, whether it is to cook or to buy food for and send to the family. These are some of the ways that people can help out with as well. Maybe another point in relation to reading of circumstances, it is also about knowing yourself. So you may be good at certain things, or you have certain skills, and those skills and talents and capacities can be used to be of assistance to the family of the deceased as well. One of the friends was telling me that his father has experience being an MC for funeral service or prayer service, and so every time when there is somebody who passed away and there's like gatherings, his father would be one of the person that would offer to be the MC. And so, but it can be other things as well. If you're good at designing or you're good at editing videos, sometimes the family would like to have a video compilation of some of the pictures or videos of the family member that just passed away. So this is also something that we can help out with. So yeah, I think that's all for now, the points that I would like to cover in this video. But what do you think of the points that I've raised? Is it helpful? If you do have other points that you think people can be of help during this time, do include it in the comments. And if you think this video can be useful to other people, share it with them as well. So do subscribe if you find this content useful. In the next video, I'll be sharing about my experience when there was death in my family. And my hope is that that experience can give people an idea of what is happening when there is a death in your family, and so that you can be better prepared and to know what are things that you would need to look into, or what are points that you might want to be aware of during those time. Okay friends, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.